Hi, I'm Michael Yardney. Have you ever thought of tarting up an old property, to on-sell it and make a quick profit? Of course, this concept's often taught at property seminars and has recently been popularised by reality TV shows like The Block. But can you really make money, make a living out of flipping properties? If you're after a quick buck, I'm sorry to disappoint you. While buying a rundown property at a good price and improving it and selling it for a profit sounds good in theory, in reality, most property flips flop. So today I'd like to explain why. See, flips in theory suggest that you should be doubling your value. Proponents say that those who are putting the courses on, who are teaching you this, suggest that to be successful in a flip, what you should be doing is maximising your bottom line. They suggest you should at least double your renovation outlay, aiming to make $2 say for every $1 you spend on improvements. In order to achieve those sort of profits, you're usually taught to undertake a heap of due diligence. They teach you things like researching. You've got to research the local property values, get the growth history of the area to see what's happening there. You've got to understand what ceiling prices are in the area. In other words, what's the highest property price achieved? Obviously, if nothing sold over $500,000 and you need to achieve $600,000 to make your flip worthwhile, then you could end up in hot water. They tell you to study the costs and potential profit margins. Is there going to be anything in it? Now, this is sometimes literally $1 million question. You need to have an idea of how much the renovation is going to set you back, the quality and reliability of local tradespeople. Of course, these are going to impact on your timeframes and your budget. And you want to understand how much the local market's prepared to pay for a property that's been improved to the standard you've got in mind. They also teach you to understand the market itself. You need to become a local real estate expert, understanding your target market, who the potential buyer is going to be, what they expect, and what they're prepared to pay. And these courses also teach you to target the sort of properties that you could buy cheaply, buy below market value up front. The theory is to target motivated vendors. But in today's seller's market, that's really, really difficult. So do property flips really work? While the strategy may make a few experienced punters money, in my opinion, it's the wrong strategy to adopt because, first of all, to improve properties, get $2 out for every dollar you put into a renovation, you've got to do much more than a simplistic renovation. You've got to do the sort of thing that's out of the scope of most do-it-yourselfers. It usually involves structural renovations. They cost more, they take more time, they require permits, and they involve a different level of expertise. And even if you could undertake these type of works, most of the profit's going to be eaten up in costs. See, what happens is most property renovators forget about the initial purchasing costs. Things like legal fees, stamp duty, building and pest inspections, loan costs. These all add up. Then there are the holding costs during the renovation process. Things like the rates, they still come in, and the insurance and interest, they come in. And of course, there's the selling costs that you've got to do to sell. And if you actually make a profit, you've got to pay tax on it. And once you take all this into account, you'll see that the typical flip project, with all the costs added to it, adds probably 50% to the renovation costs. And there goes your profit. Now, sometimes renovation flips do work. But when they do, it's likely that you've somehow or other fortuitously caught the right stage of the property cycle and values have moved in your favour. The problem is that most experts, let alone part-time investors, have real trouble pinpointing where we are in the property cycle, at least until it's too late and it's moved on to the next phase. And you must also be cautious with your asset selection. One false move could trip up your flip. That's because budgets and timeframes are at serious risk of a blowout if you end up purchasing a property that at first glance looks like it's all okay and may just need a few cosmetic enhancements, but actually turns out to be a structural money pit. See, the main profits from flips come when you make it look pretty rather than getting involved in costly repairs and extensions like replacing roofs or restumping. Obviously, these invisible works don't add as much value. As purchasers want to see bang for bucks, they only tend to pay top dollar for those tangible wow factors. This means that you've of course got to do a preliminary building and pest inspection, along with making sure that the property qualifies for the right sort of level of works, and you've got the right tradespeople around, and you've got the right builders who could maybe help you. Then of course there are other considerations. Are you going to be doing the project management yourself? Do you have the necessary time? Do you have the skills to coordinate trades in the right order and in a timely manner? You've also considered you have a contingency fund should things go pear-shaped. You're going to need to probably go through a lengthy process to obtain council approvals if you're going to get involved in structural works. And if you buy a property in an apartment complex, you're going to need to get an owner's corporation, body corporate approval as well. You've also got to consider, can you hold on to the property in case it doesn't sell according to plan? And please take into account the selling costs, agents' commission, advertising fees, legal costs, and maybe the cost of discharging your mortgage early, because all these add into your profit margin. So while donning a project manager's hard hat can be romantic, there's much more to be said for what I'd call a steady-as-you-go approach. You see, the risks of over-capitalising on a flip and coming out with nothing but a headache are very real, as is the potential to complete your project only to be faced with a market that's cooled its heels a bit. I've been involved in many renovations over the years and through a number of property cycles, and now I'm convinced that to create your own substantial wealth through property, you've got to accumulate assets, you've got to grow your asset base rather than trying to trade and flip and renovate and develop a quick profit. It may be boring, but it's tried and tested. What I've been trying to show you is that losing substantial chunks of your investment profit with flips is a real concern when you factor in the buying costs, the interest costs, the holding costs, as well as the loan establishment fees. Because remember, you don't have a tenant to help you pay for those. They don't help you pay for the mortgage either while you're undertaking the improvements. And of course, as I said, if there's any profit left over, the taxman's going to take their share. So in my opinion, rather than dabbling in a high risk flip, I'd recommend in buying an investment property and renovating it and holding on to your property. You see, rather than selling your property to release your newly manufactured equity, I'd suggest you refinance your property. By doing so, you don't only retain all of your post-renovation profits, but you also retain that great newly renovated investment property. That property should get you a wider range of tenants because it's nice now. It will command higher rents that'll help your cash flow. It'll get you the benefits of depreciation allowances. In my mind, that's what smart renovators do. And at my annual property renovations and development workshop that we hold once a year in October in Melbourne, we're going to go through the process of renovation and teach you step by step, stage by stage, exactly what to do. Our team at Metropole last year was involved in close to 50 renovation projects. We did about 45 the year before. We know how to do it. You're going to have exposure to the top renovators and property developers. So we're going to teach you the basics of property renovation and property development. Now this is a training event, not a selling event, so there's nothing to buy at the end of the course. Interestingly, it's not going to teach you how to get a Bunnings trade card or what colours to use. We teach you the business of property renovations and development with the best faculty I could put together, a 12-year proven track record, and my personal money-back guarantee. So I look forward to catching up with you at our property renovations and development workshop in October. Go to the website realestateworkshop.com.au and find out all about it. realestateworkshop.com.au. I'd like to see you there.